If Power Query was the engine, DAX is the brain of Power BI. Welcome back to the channel. I'm CA Rishabh, and in this power packed episode of our Power BI series, we are diving deep into DAX, that is, data analysis expressions, the true language that powers calculations, intelligence, and insights in your report. Ever wondered what exactly is DAX? How do you write DAX formulas like sum, average, or the mighty calculate? What's the real difference between a DAX column and a DAX measure? And why does your formula give wrong results unless you understand the filter context? Well, this video is your complete DAX starter pack, whether you're just starting out or trying to finally get it. By the end of this video, you'll not only know how to use DAX, but how to think in DAX. This is not just theory. We'll walk through real examples, break down each concept visually, and make DAX feel simple. So, if you're serious about mastering Power BI, this video is non-negotiable. Let's unlock the true power of your data. Let's get started. All right, then we can start by looking at the data. So this is the same data that we have been using in our past videos. But again, if you want to have a look, you can have a look. And I will, of course, upload this data and share the link with you in the description below. So check it out. You can practice for yourself. So just having a look at the data, we have quantity, sales date, total amount, payment mode, product ID, customer, price, etc. So this is our data. Now let's get started with Power BI, and we'll again have this super cool animation going by the process. We'll go to blank report. All right, then as normal, we click import the data. I think you've learned all this, so I don't need to, repeat the same steps again and again. We'll import all the four tabs and we hit on load. It'll take a couple of seconds as usual. Yep. All right, then let's go to the table view. Let's focus on sales first. So here we have all the data that is again read-only view of our Excel table that we just imported. We have the price, total amount, sales date, etc. So for now, what we'll do is we'll change the format to, currency. We'll change it both for the total amount as well as the price. So let me just go ahead and do it. Perfect. Right, back to the report view. So in this data, suppose I want the total sales amount. So what am I going to do? Okay, let me just go to the report view and I'll pull out this KPI card. And what I can do is I can drag the total amount column over here, total. So, okay, it is showing me $1.1 billion of sales. Okay, let me just at least first remove the billion part and just make it a whole number. So yeah, that makes more sense for now. So this is our total sales. And then similarly, we cannot just sum the things up. Okay, let me just first verify it. So the total amount column, if I just try to verify, okay, I have the same amount, 10107800330. Perfect. It matches with the amount over here. So these, I have not applied DAX yet. So these are certain simple functions that you can use without DAX. So instead of sum, if we want to, check on average, okay. So it is 1010078.033. And again, if we check, it's the same number. So yes, we can do average as well. So basic functionalities like sum, average, count, max, minimum, these all can be done without using DAX. But then for even a little bit of more complications, you would need to understand how to write a measure. So let's just apply a filter over here and just see the maximum and minimum amount. So we see the minimum is 1111 and the maximum amount is 38815.2. Yeah, and we can verify. So 38815.2. And similarly, if I want to check for minimum, I can check it should be 1111, and there it is. Perfect. So again, as I said, these are some functions that can be used even without using DAX. But let's just try to create a new tab, and then we'll learn all the DAX measures one by one. We'll make it simple. Okay, let me just create a new tab, and I can just rename it as with DAX measures. All right, this makes sense. Okay, so let's write our first measure. So we'll just click on new measure over here, and let me just rename this measure as total sales. So what would be the total sales? Again, we would apply the sum formula. It matches a lot with Excel. So it's very simple to use. I'll just write sum, and then I'll select, I would need to sum the total amount from the sales table. So I'll just write sales and, you know, just hit enter, and I'll have my total sales measure. Boom, that's easy. It's super easy. Okay. So now again, I'll bring my KPI card and I'll drag this total sales measure, and see, we have 1 billion of sales. And of course, we need to edit the format. So put it into currency, and then, yep, I would change it to currency, and then I would change the formatting as well. So here we have our sales data 10107803330. So this is coming from a measure. Now, similarly, we're going to write a measure for average. So let me just copy this first, and then I'll right click anything here, and then I'll just click on new measure. And then instead of total sales, I'll just put in average sales. All right. And then I'll remove the total sales from here and average sales from here and put in average sales. All right. So it matches. Yes, we have the same amount. So we're getting average sales through the measure. So when we go to products tab, we see we have a lot of products. We have categories of mobile, laptop, accessories, and TV. Now comes the interesting part. So when you write simple measures like this, you will not be able to calculate just the mobile sales. I suppose if I just want the total sales of mobile phones. So what I'll do is I'll create a measure and I'll apply something called calculate. It acts as a filter function. So let me just create a measure mobile sales equal to, I'll put in calculate. All right. And for calculate, we need to first put in the expression and then the filter. So the expression would be sum of total amounts. That's obvious. Sales total amount. Okay. Now, here we'll put that if condition basically, or the filter, that we need to make sure the product category is equal to, within quotes, mobile. Correct. We close the bracket, and then if we see, we put these down and then create another KPI card, and always use copy paste, right? So now mobile sales, we see the figure 260978888. So this is our mobile sales. I need to, okay, reformat it first. And then we can verify it from the Excel file itself. So we'll go to Excel. Okay, now there is another thing that on the sales tab here, we do not have the category, but we have the product ID, and we have the category in the products tab. So what we can do is we can apply an X lookup and just bring it back. It's not a part of Power BI, but just see, because Power BI is so intelligent, it has already applied it. If we see through this relationship model, we see that it has already applied its logic, and it understands that so and so product ID is linked with so and so category name, and all this intelligence is already there. But I'm just trying to show you from Excel that how we can do it. I mean, how we can recheck it. All right. So let me just apply a lookup function so that I can bring onto the sales tab the category of the product. So yeah, all right. We have our categories over here. And then I'm just gonna reapply this filter for mobile. And when I check it, the amount matches 260978888. Perfect. Now similarly, we're gonna do it for the laptop sales as well. So again, right click, new measure. First, we'll copy the mobile sales data so that we don't have to type it all again. And instead of mobile sales, it will be laptop sales. Laptop, right. Mhm, 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 mhm. Change the currency. All right. Okay. Now to re-verify again, we'll just click on laptop. Okay. And then we'll check what's the total amount. The total amount is 3457. So and so, so and so. Yes. 2, 3. All right. We have the amount here. So see, it aligns perfectly. Now, we can go ahead and do the same for accessories and TV, but right now I'm not going to focus too much on that, and I think you can practice that on your own. Now, let's do one more thing. Now, let's calculate another measure. Let's make another measure to calculate the percentage of mobile sales and the percentage of laptop sales. So, this is the total sales. So what would be the percentage of mobile sales? That would be mobile sales divided by total sales. So let's create a measure for that. Okay, so this would be percentage mobile sales. Mobile sales divided by total sales, that will give us a percentage of mobile sales. Perfect. Now, just changing the measure, percentage 0.26. We need to change the format. It will be a percentage. And we have 25.82% mobile sales, which makes sense. Now, similarly, we're going to do it for laptop sales as well. Let's keep total sales in the middle for a while. Okay, now we'll copy the formula for mobile sales, then we'll create a new measure. We'll take, okay, not copy the formula for mobile sales, and then we'll just change it for laptop. So laptop sales would be percentage laptop sales would be laptop sales divided by total sales. So see, it's not that hard. It's very similar to Excel. We just need to practice to get to the flow. So now instead of mobile sale, we put in laptop sale again, changing the format to percentage. We have 34.21%. So basic DAX measure is this. Now let us put in some complications to understand it even better. So right now, if I see it's trying to filter, it's not trying to filter. It's taking all, it's taking all the total amount, and it's taking for every payment mode. Now, what I'll do is I'll put a slicer over here. Let me just first look at the table view. We see, you know, these, yeah, I'm going to the report view. All right. Okay. Let me just put in a slicer over here. There is a slicer. Yeah, got it. So if I put a slicer for product and I put in category, so I'll just drag and drop product category to the filter. Yes. So now what is happening is because of this slicer, if I select anything, it will filter the entire data. So it is taking not just mobile sales, but it's filtering out total sales also to take just the mobile part, and it will give me 100% mobile sales. And similarly for laptops, it will be dividing laptop sales by total sales, but which is actually laptop sales, and it will tell me 100%, which is not correct. So what I want my total sales figure should not be impacted by what I select on the filter. So how can we do that? Calculate. That is when calculate comes into picture. So I'll just enter calculate, and okay, it is calculating the sum of total amount from sales table. But what I would do is I would try to filter it out. So I just want that it is not affected by category. So what I can do is I can go to total sales, calculate, and I will just write all. Yeah. And then I would just simply select category from product. Yeah. So what this will do is it will not consider the filter for category. So now no matter whatever I select from this filter, it will not consider because I have put in all, so it will consider all values and basically not apply a filter. So whatever I click on, the total sales would remain the same, and in this case the percentage would remain the same because the total sales is not changing, so the percentage is not changing. All right, so now let me put something more complicated. I put another filter. Instead of category, I put payment mode. Like along with category, I put payment mode. So in our DAX measure, we have confined it not to use category as a filter, but we have not said anything about payment mode. So when I select different payment mode, again, my total sales is changing, but my total sales should not change. Sales should remain the same. So for that, what can I do? I would alter the calculate function and I would alter the filter context. So what I'll do is I'll go to all and I would remove the product category. So I'm not blocking a specific column to be filtered, but I'm blocking all columns to be filtered. So none of the columns will be filtered. So now it will not consider any filter. No matter whatever you select, it will not consider the filter and the total sales would remain at 1.01 billion. Now, what if I want to say I want it to be impacted by one filter but not the other filters? So we have a function for that as well. We have all except, and I'm pretty sure that you would have understood now how all except works, but still I'm going to show it to you. So let's go and write all except, and I just want it to be impacted by payment methods. So what I'm going to do is first I'll write the table name, that is sales, and now I'll just say sales payment method. And now what I'm saying is do not consider any other columns, but consider the filters applied on payment mode. So it will again consider. So you see, that's how we write tax measures, and that's how simple it is. So let me show you where you can look for all the formulas and all the functions that you can use. You need to simply go to google.com. You need to look for DAX formulas, and you'll have a Microsoft link. And when you click on that link, you'll find all of the formulas, and you can just go through it, experiment with it, use ChatGPT, and I think you'll be good to go with quite a bit of practice, of course. So this is how the DAX measures work. Now we can also use DAX in columns, and we're going to see it right now. All right, so we saw how to write a DAX measure. So now let me just show you how to write a DAX column. It's not really different, and we'll take a small example. I think we'll be good to go. So if we go to our table, we see that we have the total amount, payment mode, etc., etc. But what if I want to add another column, a calculated column? What if the tax rate is like 30% and I want to calculate the tax amount on the total amount? So I'll just click on new column. I will name the column as tax amount. So let me just rename it. All right. And then I'll just simply put a formula. Tax amount is equal to the total amount from, of course, the sales table into 0.03. And let's just go ahead and enter 0.03. Okay, sorry, tax rate is 30%, so 0.3, correct. So yeah, it has given me the tax amount. So this could have been done with Power Query as well. When you involve Power Query, it takes too much load on the data. I mean, your PBIX file becomes more complicated, but DAX makes it simpler. So you can simply, okay, if I want the post-tax amount, basically the total amount plus the tax amount, I can just simply put in a measure for a calculated column that post-tax amount is equal to the total amount plus the tax amount. So sales total amount plus tax amount should give me the post-tax amount. So simply what the same logic that you applied on the DAX measure, you have to apply it on the DAX column, and then you'll have calculated columns. So that's pretty much it. I hope most of your doubts will be clear by now. And that, my friends, is a wrap up on DAX, the real muscle behind Power BI. Today, we explored the core building blocks of DAX, from writing basic formulas like sum and average to understanding the real difference between a calculated column and a measure, to finally demystifying calculate and all the important filter context. If you've made it till here, give yourself a pat on the back. You now understand more about DAX than most casual users ever will. But remember, DAX isn't something you learn once. It's something you get better at by doing. So go ahead, try out these formulas, play with the context, and slowly you will build the confidence to write your own complex calculations. If you found this helpful, drop a comment with a formula that finally clicked, or the one still confusing you. I'm reading every single one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon because in the next episode, we're going even deeper. Until then, keep learning, keep building. This is Rishabh signing off. Bye.